So once we've done with all the typography, our color, and our logo, and our inspiration, we can start to build out some brand assets. And the first thing we're going to do is start to build a business card. Usually I'll make a new document, but for the sake of this class, I'm just going to do it all within one document. So a cool tool is the artboard tool. If you go to my left hand corner, you'll see you get this little artboard, little folder thing with 2 lines. That's your artboard tool. Shortcut key is also Shift O, and you can just drag out an artboard, which is cool. So it's good to make sure you get the right size, so when you save the PDF or the JPEG or file, whatever you need, it's gonna be the right size for printing and all that stuff, especially if it's a business card. So you can see, if I just go to the artboard tool again, make sure it's selected, you'll see you get lines around the artboard, which means it's selected. I can go up to the top, and the normal sizing is roughly around 90 mm, so millimeters. My document is set to points at the moment, so you can just type mm, and that's going to be millimeters at the top, and then just click off that or press enter. And then for this side, it's about 55 millimeters, and these are Aussie sizes usually, so it's pretty much similar around the world. And yeah, so we've got this one business card here. Cool. So what I'll do with this, I'll just bring it up a little bit like that, and we'll start to work with this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go select my logo. So I'm going to stick with this one here. And drag that. And I'm also going to use this too. Cool. So I've got my logo here. I'm going to pretend this is the space of my business card. I'm also going to select the artboard tool again, hold Shift and Alt, and just drag this down to make a copy. So maybe it's going to be a double-sided card instead of a one-sided. So I got my logo here with the J, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to use typography. So I'm going to, I ended up selecting the D2C type, which I love using this one. So we're going to stick with this one. So I'm going to drag this out of here, make a copy of it in case we need to go back. So cool. We're going to use this, and we're going to use the colors that we built here. So the colors that we chose was these ones here, primary ones, and it was also these gray ones here as well. Just gonna ungroup those and bring these down here, so we can just use these so you guys can see what we're working with here. Cool. So all the colors are here in the swatches, but it's just nice to have it here so you can just eyedrop it. So if I go boom, you can see that I can quickly just eyedrop it like that. So you can see what it looks like with just the gray and then the dark tone there, which we want that dark tone. So I'm just gonna scale this up, play around, drop it. And then I'm gonna go logo design and illustration. Whoop. And then I'm gonna quickly size it. So a shortcut for that is actually Control Shift and then the left arrow, not the arrow key, but the less than and greater than values. So full stop and comma. You can just press that, and if you want to double it quicker, you hold Alt and it will do double the size. And then just holding Alt or Option if you're on a Mac and press left or right, and that's going to increase the kerning there. Just like that. I'm going to size it up. I'm going to center it. I'm going to group these two together and center this to the artboard. So what you do, you go to the top left corner, you go to align to artboard. I'm going to click this button now, and it's going to center it to this artboard. And then once again, you can click this middle button to make this center, but we just wanted to leave it on the side like that. You can see there, maybe we want a bit of, make it less. So maybe like this light gray like that. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that light gray there. So we don't take away from this overall, the color from the logo. Then maybe we can test it here and see what it looks like. Yeah, that looks nice too. So I guess I'm going to leave it like this for now. And cool, that's one side, and I'm going to copy this on the other side, and then I'll put my details to And I'm just gonna make maybe you just want these in the center. Custom design. Actually, that's probably pointless, so we'll do the email. So I'm just going through here, working with what we have, and that's the gray there. Maybe play with the orange. We could even make this back side orange. Make this a white. I'm just using the artboard tool. Yeah, awesome. Looking good. I'm going to group those together and then center it like we did before. Make sure sometimes you click on the artboard because sometimes it will center it to the last artboard you clicked on. So center that. There you go, cool. So it's got my email, my number, and where we're located. Sweet, and that's the business card design. And then obviously, if you wanted to print this, you want to make sure that there's going to be a bleed. Because there's a color here, we want it to make sure that when it cuts, that the cut's going to be there. So you can actually double click, go to your artboard section on the right. Double click that, and you can see you can show the center marks and turn those on as well, but we won't be able to edit the bleed here. We'll have to go document setup, and you can edit the bleed here, like that. But the thing is, it's going to edit it on all the documents. You see that? It's going to add that bleed, which we don't really want. But that's how you're going to make it. You can make a new document, but I'm just showing you for the sake of this class. And you can drag it out like that. And that's what you're going to do if you have overlapping colors, if your colors go over the artboard line. So now when they cut it, there won't be any white or any missing spots. It's going to, the guillotine will cut the card and it'll be all the way there. So that's just a quick tip. And I'll just Control Z that to get rid of the bleed. So cool, we've already got a business card just like that, already done. We've got our main icon here, which I can just make another artboard. And we'll go 500 by 500. Alright, that's... Yeah, we'll just do 300 pixels by 300. Maybe one as a favicon. So drag it like this, keep it neat. And maybe we can have it as a favicon, so for the website at the top. So cool, we got that. And what I can do now is gonna make a letterhead really quickly. So you can see here the artboards. If you don't want to put in your own custom size, you can actually just open up the drop down menu, and you can search for the size you want. And I just want a normal A5 size, and you can see it's a bit big, so I'm just gonna drag it, align that. And it's also good practice to like name your artboards as well. So you can put this like business card here, and goes letterhead. And yeah, so what I'll do here, I'll just go like this, build the logo like that, and then I'm gonna go to my press T for the type tool. Instead of just clicking, I'm gonna click and drag, and it should automatically put placeholder text in there for you. And we're gonna go test out the type. We'll go with the condensed. We're also gonna make it the dark gray because you don't want it to be too dark. I'm gonna press Control A to select it all, and press Option or Alt and press the down arrow key to bump up the tracking a little bit so there's actually space, and bump the kerning just once as well. Then I'm just gonna press Enter on these spots here, just like that, and delete the rest there. Pretty handy. And kind regards. Jeremy. So you can see this type would be a little bit hard to read, so that's when our secondary type comes in. So once again, we were using the Montserrat, and I'll go ahead and use the Montserrat there, so it's easier to read there. Cool, and then I'll just go hey Matthew, just hypothetical here, and so we've got that section there, and then maybe we want, maybe this is too big. I can add the rest of the details here. So I'm gonna do 105 Sydney. I'm going to put the paragraph to the right, justified to the right. Make it a little bit bigger. So we got logo design, email, the number again. Just keeping it simple, and we'll align it to this J there as well, like that. So we've got the details. Maybe you want to align this to that. Make sure that this is aligned as well to the artboard. You can play around, make it wider if you want, or just make it short, doesn't matter. As you can see, that's aligned, so visually that's nice to look at. This is probably too big again. Stuff, I'll leave it big. And we might put it at the same text as the Montserrat. Make it a bit smaller there. And when you're working with small type, it's actually good to bump it up to a bold as well. And then bump it up. Cool, so that's fine there. And if you wanted to add anything else, add like a nice line there to break off that white space there. Use the orange and then just like that. Cool, so just did a simple letterhead. And we can go ahead and we can save this. I can go file, you can go export, set export for screens, which is pretty good as well. And I can just clear everything and then select the ones I want to save. And you can save it as, you know, PNG, JPEG, or PDF. What I would do though, I'll probably create a separate document and save this as an Illustrator file. So yeah, just by doing this, we've already made a few assets. You know, we've made a favicon that we can put on our website. We've made a business card, we've made a letterhead, and you can, you know, make stickers. You can make so much more stuff just by building out your personal brand. And eventually, you know, as you grow, you'll keep expanding and just creating more awesome things.